Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to review Comedian Mike from Monsters Inc. The ability description for Comedian Mike is clear zooms from the bottom of the screen. This current gameplay that you're watching right now is a skill level 1 game demonstration, so the skill range is going to be extra small with a score of 80. So in order for you to activate Comedian Mike, you'll need to charge his ability up by clearing 15 copies of Mike off the screen. His minimum score is 80 with a maximum score of 1158. So the maximum score is pretty good, but you do need to get him to level 50. But yeah, I think if you need a high scoring Tsum that's very easy to use, Comedian Mike is a good option. But in order for you to get him to skill level 6, you will need to get a total of 36 copies of him in the premium box, and that's considered on the higher side. And by the way, guys, if you guys are enjoying this type of content where I review Tsums, also do monthly leaks, please consider subscribing to this channel. It really does help me out a lot. Alright, so let's take a look at his skill chart. On the bottom right hand corner, you'll see that every single time you level up his ability, the skill range will increase. And this is in reference to the thickness of the band at the bottom of the screen. So at skill level 1, you might only clear 3 rows, but at skill level 2, you might get 4 to 5 rows. So it will continue to increase as you level up Comedian Mike. When you're using Comedian Mike, there is 2 things that you want to look out for. The first one is you want to make sure that at the bottom of the screen, all of the bubbles are burst before you activate the ability. If you do that, you'll be able to maximize the chain, earning you more coins. As you see here, I had some bubbles there and I was not able to maximize the chain potential because they get in the way. If they're on the top of the screen, that's okay. You don't have to worry about that because they're not going to be in the burst area. And as a matter of fact, if you're able to get bubbles at the very top, that's actually pretty good. You could leave those there and burst them after your ability. The second thing that you'll want to do is you want to make sure that all the Tsums are settled at the bottom of the screen before you activate the ability. And I'll show you why that is in a little bit. But for now, let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison of all 3 of the skill level between skill level 1, 2, and 3. And as a reminder, the major difference here is the skill range. Skill level 1, the skill range is going to be extra small. Skill level 2, the skill range is going to be small. And skill level 3, the skill range is going to be medium. This is in reference to how many rows of Tsums that it's going to clear at the bottom of the screen. At skill level 1, you're roughly going to get about 3 rows, and every single time you level up his ability, it's going to roughly increase by half to 1 row. So you could expect anywhere between 4 to 5 rows when you get to skill level 3 here, but for skill level 2, you're probably only going to see 3 to 4, so it's going to be around that. But once you get to skill level 6, a majority of the screen will get cleared, and I'm going to have another video that will show you all of that, so stay tuned if you want to see Comedian Mike at the higher skill level, so at skill level 4, 5, and 6. So back to what I was mentioning earlier, the 2 strategies. The first one is to burst all the bubbles away at the bottom of the screen before activating the ability. And then the second thing was to make sure all the Tsums are settled down at the bottom first, because if you don't have Tsum settled at the bottom of the screen before you activate his ability, what ends up happening is that you're going to get a smaller chain, getting you less coins, and actually that's going to hinder your ability to start the second ability too. More Comedian Mics at the bottom of the screen means that those will go into charger bar for your next ability. Alright, so let's take a look at Comedian Mike's ability activate at the same time. What I'll also show you is what is going on during these animations and what the best strategy is and what mistakes I made in these 3 game demonstrations. So Comedian Mike's animation isn't too long, so it's pretty good. You'll see Comedian Mike pop out and tell a joke, and then Sully's in the background as well. So let's slow this down a little bit, and then I'll show you what's actually going on. Check this out, all the Tsums actually straighten up right when the door opens, so I thought this part is pretty cool. Take a look at skill level 1 here. You'll see that you're gonna get a clear of 3 rows, but as you level up your Comedian Mike, the number of rows that's gonna clear increase. So skill level 2, you could see anywhere between 3 to 4. So that's pretty good. And then skill level 3, it's clearly gonna be 4 to 5. So every single time you level the skill level, it does increase. So you can imagine skill level 6 is going to be a majority of the screen here. So for skill level 1, I was able to clear 22 Tsums off the screen, and then skill level 2, 26, and then skill level 3, 28. So this isn't factoring in if you have a big Tsum on the screen or not. If you do have a big Tsum at the bottom of the screen, or at least touching the clear area, that's going to increase by 4. And if you're lucky enough to get 2 Tsums at the bottom of the screen, these numbers will significantly increase. So these numbers are just standard, assuming that you don't have any big Tsums at the bottom of the screen. Alright, and then one other thing that I do want to point out is check out the bubble at the bottom of the screen. Every time you activate the ability, a score bubble is going to be made. So if we get any of those missions that require you to make a score bubble this month, then Comedian Mike is a good option for that. There are other Tsums you could use, but if you are using this month's Tsum and you're using that character bonus, it could be helpful if you get stuck on any of those missions that makes score bubbles. So overall, I think Comedian Mike is a really easy Tsum to use. There's only really two things that you need to worry about, which is just clear the bubbles off the bottom of the screen and then activate the ability only when there's a lot of Tsums at the bottom of the screen. You don't want to have gaps at the bottom and you don't want bubbles to get in the way. But I don't necessarily think Comedian Mike is worth your coins or your skill tickets. And actually, I don't recommend you to use your skill tickets on Comedian Mike because he's not necessarily going to be good for coins, and for missions, not that great either. There are going to be better Tsums out there that you could use to make score bubbles. And as for score, it's hard to say right now because I don't have Comedian Mike at level 50. So I do think that at level 50, he'll be better for score, but definitely not going to be competitive with all the other Tsums that we have out right now that earns a lot of coins. So at the end of these gameplay, for skill level 1, I ended up with 1,136 coins. For skill level 2, I ended up with 1,579 coins. Skill level 3, I got 2,081 coins. So from a coin earning perspective, you can see here, I'm also playing with the 5-4 and the time boost on. So not worth using your coins to activate the boost and to get this result here. You might be better off not using any of the boosts, but you're going to get less coins because without the 5-4 on, you tend to get less clears. So not worth using your boost and not really worth using Comedian Mike to earn coins. As for score, it does get better. 3.3 for skill level 1, 5 million for skill level 2, and 6.2 for skill level 3. I do think that if you get Comedian Mike to level 50, you're going to have a better result. But again, there are going to be better Tsums out there you could use to get a high score. So that's my review for Comedian Mike. Let me know in the comments below if you are planning to get a copy of Comedian Mike or not, or if you're planning to max him out or not. I'm personally a little bit disappointed for Comedian Mike. I thought that he was going to be a little bit better than what the results show. Not going to be great for coins and not really great for score. And if you guys would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this where I review Tsums, then please consider subscribing to this channel. It really helps me out a lot. And as always, thank you so much for watching.